Hello and welcome to the tutorial on getting started with for loop. At the end of this tutorial, you will be able to write blocks of codes in Python using indentation, then use the for loop, then use range function, write blocks in Python interpreter, write blocks in IPython interpreter. Before beginning this tutorial, we would suggest you to complete the tutorial on getting started with lists. In Python, white space is significant and the blocks are visually separated. The best practice is to indent the code using 4 space. As you can see in the slide, block B is an inner block indented by 4 spaces. After block B, the next statement in block A starts from the same indentation level of the other block A statement. Now start the IPython interpreter using IPython-pylab. Type IPython-pylab. Now let us move straight into for loop. Write a for loop which iterates through a list of numbers and find the square root of each number. Numbers are 1369, 7225, 3364, 7056, 5625, 729, 7056, 576, then 2916. For the problem, first we need to create a list of numbers and then iterate over the list and find the square root of each element in it. And let us create a script rather than typing it out in the interpreter itself. Open your text editor and type the following code shown on the slide. Now switch to terminal and run the script. So in terminal, run the script as %run space -i space list underscore roots dot py. So that way easy. All what we did was iterate over the list elements by element and then use the element for calculation. So note that here we said we use two variables, the variable numbers which is list and the other variable each, which is the element of list under consideration in each cycle of the for loop. The variable names can be chosen by you. Note that the lines after for statement is indented using 4 spaces. It means that line is a part for the for loop and it is a block of code. Although it is only a single statement in the block, also the fourth line or the immediate line after the for block is not intended. It means that it is not a part of the for loop and the lines after that don't fall in the scope of the for loop. Thus each block is separated by the indentation level and that marks the importance of the white spaces in Python. So print the square root of numbers in the list and this time let us do that right in the IPython interpreter. So let us create a list. You will notice that as soon as you press the enter key after the for statement, the prompt changes to 4 dots. So enter numbers is equal to within square brackets 1369, 7225, 3364, 7056, 5625, 729, 7056, 576, then 2916. Then for type for each in numbers colon. Here you can see the 4 dots. So please note that IPython automatically indents the block. The 4 dots tell you that you are inside a block. Now type the rest of the for loop. So type print within double quotes square root of comma each comma, then the second line print within double quotes is comma sqrt within brackets each. Now we have finished the statements in the block, and still the interpreter is showing 4 dots. This means that you are still inside the block. To exit from the block, press the return key or the enter key twice without entering MCIL. It printed the square root of each number in the list, which was executed in the for loop. Find the cube of all the numbers from 1 to 10. But this time let us try it in the vanilla version of Python interpreter. So start the vanilla version of Python interpreter by issuing the command python in your terminal. Then type for I in range within brackets 1, 11 colon. And hit enter. Press enter once and we will see that this time it shows 4 dots. But the cursor is close to the dot, so we have to indent the block. The vanilla version of Python interpreter does not indent the code automatically. So enter 4 spaces there and then type the following. And then type print I comma within double quotes cube is, then comma I star 3. Hit enter. Now when we hit enter, we still see the 4 dots. To get out of the block, hit enter once again. So the main thing we learned here is how to use the IPython, how to use the Python interpreter and the IPython interpreter to specify blocks. But while we were generating the multiplication table, we used something new, range function. The range function is an inbuilt function in Python which can be used to generate a list of integers from a starting number to an ending number. Note that the ending number that you specify will not be included in the list. So now print all the odd numbers from 1 to 50. Let us do it in our IPython interpreter for ease of use. So the problem can be solved by just using range function. It can be solved as, so in command line you can type IPython and hit enter. Then this time we pass 3 parameters to range function, unlike the previous case where we passed only 2 parameters. The first 2 parameters are the same in both cases. The first parameter is the starting number of the sequence and the second parameter is the end of the range. Note that the sequence does not include the ending number. The third parameter is for stepping through the sequence. Here we gave 2, which means we are skipping every alternate element. So type print range within brackets 1, 51, 2. So this brings us to the end of this tutorial, and in this tutorial we have learned to create blocks in Python using for loop, then second indent the block of code, then iterate over a list using for loop, then use the range function. And here are some self-assessment questions for you to solve. First one, indentation is not mandatory in Python. Is it true or false? And second one, write a code using for loop to print the product of all natural numbers from 1 to 20. And the third one, what will be the output of range 1, 5? Now the answers. First one, the answer is false. Indentation is essential in Python. For the second one, we use the for loop in the following manner. Y is equal to 1 for x in range 1, 21 colon, then y star is equal to x, then you have to print y. And third and the last question, the answer is range 1, 5 will produce a list of integers from 1 to 4. That is in 1, 2, 3, 4 in square brackets. So we hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and found it useful. Thank you.